Hi, my name's Marcus, and I hate movies. I hate all of them, and I hate them so much that I own a ton of them. Hopefully, I'll look good. If not, I'm burning this footage. It's good. So, do you like westerns? And if you do you like the Coen brothers? You'll really like True Grit. I came around to this after multiple viewings, and after revisiting the old True Grit and then rewatching this, this might be the better adaptation. I love everything about this. It's like this. It's more set in realism than usual westerns. I love the music and the atmosphere. I think this is a really, really good western. So I like comics a lot. So I have quite a few comic book movies. I owned a few copies of these before, and I read the graphic novel way back when I used to go to libraries a lot. So Watchmen. So this is the director's cut. So it's the longest. No, the ultimate cut's the longest. There's like multiple cuts of this. The thing about Watchmen, no matter what cut you're watching, by the end of it, you're going to be so tired you don't give a shit what's happening, and you're just going to, sit back and take it. I bet the ultimate cut probably punches you in the fucking nuts. Okay, so when it comes to Harry Potter, I have a very complicated, no, not really complicated. When I was younger, I was not allowed to watch certain things. So I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter or even read the books. So this is one of the few Harry Potter films I own. This is Half-Blood Prince. This is not my favorite, but I like it. Alita, Battle Angel. When I was working at the movie theater in LA, I had to do theater checks, and one of the theaters I checked a ton was Alita, Battle Angel. I think it was just in theaters for a while. I got to see this in theaters, kind of, and then I watched it in full whenever we bought this Blu-ray. I like this a lot. I think it's a pretty good anime adaptation. There was a time where my dad got some access to a lot of early screenings. So one of them was Hacksaw Ridge. Mel Gibson was making his comeback, and he was like, oh, he directed this World War II movie that looks really interesting and it's getting good reviews. It's Mel Gibson. So we're like, oh, okay. So, we watched it, and it turned out to be really, really good. So I got the Steelbook. I like Transformers. I don't love Transformers as much as I used to. Transformers are still cool, but I don't tend to buy Transformers that much. More my friends and my brother do. But I like the movies. And one of the movies that I love the most is the 80s one. It's really dark for an 80s kids movie. It's PG. It does end abruptly. That's one of my main complaints about this. Everything else I love. I am a big fan of Guillermo del Toro. So I own Pan's Labyrinth. I got this, I think, as a gift for my ex got it for me. Really, really good adult fantasy film. I don't think I need to say much about Pan's Labyrinth. I really love this. So there was an evening where me and my brother had he was looking at a movie that for a while that he wasn't sure about. It wasn't highly rated. No one really talks about it. But we found it on Prime, or I think we rented it. The Big Hit. And we were kind of on a Wahlberg binge too, and we expected this one to be dumb, but it actually turned out to be really, really good and really funny. And then my brother got a copy. We actually have multiple copies of this, but it's one of the I consider this a cult gem. It's really highly overlooked, and I think a lot of people deserve to watch this. Oh, Kevin Spacey, Baby Driver. This is a good movie. The only issue is, that guy in the corner, but I tend to enjoy his performance in this movie, and I try not to think about it too hard when I'm watching it. Do you like really cool anime movies? Ones that take close to half a decade to get made, and then when you see the final product, it shows how much love is put into it? Well, that's Redline. Now, imagine a scenario in which there is an an organization that organizes races. And these races often take place on planets without their permission. Or let's say in more realistic sense, imagine if a race was held in Pakistan, but Pakistan wasn't okay with that. But they were like, you know, whatever, we're going to have a race. And then the entire military of Pakistan tries to destroy the drivers. That's basically Redline. I say just watch it. I think it's on Amazon Prime. If you can hunt down the Blu-ray, if you see it, pick it up. It's really good. Both the dub and the sub are really, really good. Now, I like films that are considered masterpieces. I like foreign films a lot. The subtitles are not that big a barrier. There's a lot of films that are untapped because people, can't get past that. This one, I think, doesn't matter. So, Old Boy. Perfect film. It's perfect. In my opinion, it's the best South Korean film ever made. It's also based on a Korean manga. I have not seen the remake. I don't intend to, and I don't really intend to own it. And I got this really cool Asia Extreme 10th Anniversary Edition for Christmas. I love the black cover on this, and I like the cover too. I also got The Valley of the Wind. This has been a movie I tried to pursue and watch for a while. It wasn't until my brother got his own copy that we were able to watch it. There's quite a few Hayao Miyazaki films I have not seen yet. Yeah, this is a good movie. Millennium Actress. It's about reporters meeting up with an elderly actress, and it kind of like goes through her life, and it's in the way they go through her life is through old cinematic sequences that look like old movies. So there's a ton of references to a ton of different filmmakers. There's especially Akira Kurosawa. There's a lot of that in here. If you're a film buff like me, you're gonna get a kick out of this. This is not only really good animation, good story, great music, but also just a lot of love for movies. Tokyo Godfathers. We watched this around New Year's. I think it's one of those movies that can only work in animation. It shouldn't be made into live action, although it could, but it's better this way. Watch it if you haven't seen it. Another great film. I think it's tied with Perfect Blue in terms of favorites. Terminator. This is a really good Blu-ray. It looks really good on your TV. You know how sometimes you get a transfer of a Blu-ray transfer and it just doesn't look right? I mean, Millennium Actress's transfer doesn't look too awesome. This one is crisp. It looks really, really good. My favorite is The Thing, like most people's, but this is his peak. This is one of his best films. It's his best film. I had gotten the Blu-ray because my DVD copy didn't really look too awesome, so I got myself a Blu-ray copy. It looks incredible. It looked like the Blu-ray makes it look like it was shot yesterday. Most people just were like, oh, it's just a gore fest. Yeah, but it's like classic gore. That's the best one. And at some point we'll get to the Blu-ray where it covers not classic gore that I really hate. Summer Wars. This is a very good movie. It's somewhere, I can't remember how I described it. It was similar to Ready Player One in a way, but I like Ready Player One, but this is better. This is way better. This is a good Blu-ray of RoboCop. Most people would say about RoboCop is that you just need to watch the first one and then you're good to go. I agree, but if you want to continue, just go to RoboCop 2 and then don't go any further. This is the unrated director's cut, so it has more gore in it. Again, classy gore, that's usually my thing. I like classy gore. Gore and killing that's just mindless and has no meaning behind it. I tend to get bored by it or just disgusted. I haven't seen this one, but I want to. And this is Metropolis. It's based on Tezuka's manga. At some point I'll get around to it. So we have MS Igloo from Mobile Suit Gundam. We actually we did a series on Gen the Gundam on the Gen the Gundam channel. I'll link in the description. For the most part, this is an okay series. It's fine. It's just kind of weird because it's in 3D. We're doing Gundam now. Gundam 0083. We never finished it. From what I saw, I really liked it. Now, you want to talk really, really good Gundam shows, like a really good series, that would be War in the Pocket or 0080. And it made me cry. And that that's a lot to say about an anime series. I love the Blu-ray. This is really cool. I won't spoil anything about this. Just pick it up when you can. Watch it. You'll really like it, especially if you like Mobile Suit Gundam. I'm pretty sure if you like Mobile Suit Gundam, you've already seen it. We have the original trilogy of movies that basically compiled the original series together. So the first two are slow. They're slow. I prefer Star Blazers in general, and sometimes that show can get, a little slow. But I really like the third one, Encounters in Space. I think that's a great finale. It's a great film because it's way more action based and most of the story comes to a head. You guys remember Gravity? I do. I don't much think about it often. I know that it's like one of those like groundbreaking CG movies, and I own a Blu-ray. I actually never finished Juno. I had started watching it one time. I think it was on like Netflix, and I got to like the 10-minute mark and I didn't finish it. So I need to finish it. So before I give any thoughts on it, I want to like watch it first. So again, with sports movies, one thing that, usually he covers things like baseball, football, hockey, stuff of that sort. Rugby isn't covered very much, and I really like Invictus. I saw Invictus a ton of times because it played almost on repeat on a cruise ship. I still enjoy it a lot. Every time I watch it, I love it. So as maybe some of you know, I lived in Indiana for a little bit, and usually when you live in the Midwest, you learn what they're into pretty quickly. One of the things that they love is Rob Zombie, and you have House of a Thousand Corpses. This is a fine film. I think it's fine. It's not, I wouldn't call Rob Zombie films classy or anything, but some of the stuff in here is not, super engaging. It's kind of, it's a little bit mindless, but I enjoy the style, and I can dig whatever Rob Zombie's trying to throw at me. I don't usually watch his movies. Want to talk about solid or actually really good, and that's Hook. It's a good Peter Pan story. Peter Pan's overdone to death, but I think this is the most unique one and something I loved as a kid. If a movie scared me as a kid, I love it more as an adult, and this one definitely scared me. And the scene that I'm talking about is the fucking scorpion scene with Glenn Close in makeup. Weird. When I said that I really like classy sort of gore violence that have like a purpose behind it. I really, really hate gore that's just gore for the sake of gore, and Hellboy is one of those examples of gore that just makes you feel uncomfortable, Never mind the fact that the story sucks, the characters suck, the comedy doesn't really hit, and the pacing is wrong, and it's not good compared to Guillermo del Toro's original 2 Hellboy movies. That's just common opinion. I don't recommend this. Don't waste your time, not even if you're curious, because I showed this to my brother who loves Hellboy, and Mike Magnola, but this is just not good. I watched a movie called Legendary Weapons of China, and it's kind of it's like a weird, quirky kung fu comedy. I started researching other kung fu movies with a particular actor in it, and one of them was the 36 Chamber of Shaolin. I owned previously because my cousin had given it to me. This one's highly regarded, but I haven't seen it. I want to watch it, and I will watch it soon. You like gothic shit? I think if you're kind of just tired or burnt out of Batman or whatever, I would recommend you watch The Crow. I think I have 2 copies. I have a Blu-ray and I have a regular DVD copy. Brandon Lee is excellent. I don't have much to say other than you should watch it. There's a tragic backstory behind the making of the movie, of course, but that kind of adds to the success of the story and the gothic nature and the atmosphere. The editing's really, really well done, and the way they handled it was very, very classy. I enjoy pretty much every minute of this movie. If you haven't read the graphic novel that it's based on, I also recommend that too. It's kind of a depressing read, also a depressing watch if you're in a mood, but it's a good one. So I want to take you back to the year 2015, back when we were all still sort of kind of watching like those like really dumb top 10 videos all the time that always were trending. You know, the one thing I can give to them is that they kind of introduced me to a lot of films that I wouldn't have known about earlier, and one of them was Come and See, and I spent the better half of 5 years looking for a copy of Come and See that I could own physically, because it wasn't, you know, available anywhere for me to watch. So, and I couldn't go. I tried to go to like used video stores, and nothing. There's nothing there. So finally, Criterion Collection released, and I got myself a copy immediately. Weird thing about this particular thing is that I was going through a breakup when this movie arrived, so I think I was in like the perfect spot to sit down and watch this. I think without a doubt, this is the greatest war movie ever made, if not the greatest anti-war movie ever made. Watch it at your own risk. It might be a little, it's tough to watch. It's in league with Schindler's List. It might even, no, it's not, no, it might be worse. You want to talk about depressing movies and misery porn in general, then we got to talk about The Nightingale. I knew The Nightingale was a thing. I never saw it in theaters. I don't know if it came out around me, but there was a YouTuber I really liked that covered it, and I decided to watch it first and then finish the video, and then I bought the Blu-ray. This movie is really hard to watch, just like Come and See, especially the first 20 minutes. It's very difficult, but it's in my opinion, it's a masterpiece. It's really, really well done. It's worth your time. It might be hard to stomach, but it's a good film. Do you like edgelord movies? No? Do you like movies directed by Joel Schumacher that are considered good? What I mean by that is that Joel Schumacher is actually a really good director, that most people just look at his 2 Batman films and get really, you know, off about it. Falling Down, I have not seen yet. I want to. I've been wanting to watch this movie since I learned about it, but as you can see by this also, it still has the plastic on it. At some point I'll watch it. I am looking forward to it. I'm not a very unfeeling person. I'm okay to get emotional during movies. Anime movies, when they're sad, they're sad. And when they're really good, they're a really good movie, like A Silent Voice. This is a long film, but it's really heartfelt, really well done. Again, it's really sad. Not sad as in like tragic, but sad as in it makes you feel this sort of like weird sadness, happiness thing. It makes you cry a little. I won't spoil it. I want you to watch it. It's available. I think it's available on Netflix or some sort of streaming site, but you should watch this. Batman Forever. So usually when you ask somebody or tell them that, hey, maybe Batman Forever might be misunderstood, they tend to mix Batman and Robin with Batman Forever, and that's understandable. They both almost look the same, except Batman and Robin's way more... Joel Schumacher described this film as a pop culture opera, and it really shows. You know when you go to those like Universal Studio shows, and they're like these spectacular things, it's like a show, but a movie. If you just want to sit back and enjoy a mindless Universal show, Batman Forever. I think it's underrated. I think Val Kilmer is a good Batman. He's always been a good Batman. He's the only one with an arc. Maybe Bruce in the Dark Knight trilogy has an arc, but this one is very clear and defined. So this next one I like this movie, but the gimmick of, the one-shot gimmick where, Birdman did that thing where it's, the whole movie was just, it was cut to look like one shot. Someone was like, someone being Sam Mendes was like, oh, we should do that, but with a war movie. So they made 1917. And it's good. It's good. The one-shot thing does feel a bit gimmicky, like it didn't need to be one shot. It's cool that it's one shot, or it looks like it's one shot. I think there's about 4 cuts. I am going to just leave those there because we have plenty to look at.